Earlier this week, Amazon founder and richest man on earth, Jeff Bezos, said that he will commit $10 billion of his own money, quote, to start in the fight against climate change. In his announcement on Instagram, Bezos wrote, "I want to work alongside others both to amplify known ways and to explore new ways of fighting the devastating impacts of climate change on this planet we all share. This global initiative will fund scientists, activists, NGOs, any effort that offers a real possibility to help preserve and protect the natural world." As you would expect, the internet's reaction to this news was overwhelmingly positive. People were saying things like, "Attaboy, Jeff. Wow, $10 billion. Amazing." Or maybe about the worst thing you could find was someone saying, "I don't like everything he does, but he got this one right." Yeah, and if you actually thought that's how people reacted, then congratulations on snapping out of that 25-year coma you've been in. But this is how the new woke internet responds to what should have otherwise been good news. Hashtag Jeff Bezos has billions to spare because he avoids taxes and cheats his workforce. Instead of paying tax, he engages in shows of philanthropy. Today's stunt just happens to coincide with the release of further evidence that Amazon mistreat their employees. On a similar note, another genius says, "To be quite honest, hashtag Jeff Bezos, the biggest threat to our planet is tax avoidance. Throwing $10 billion at the climate emergency isn't about saving the planet, but you whitewashing your company's culpability in it." Really? Tax avoidance is the biggest threat to our planet? I'm not saying you shouldn't pay your taxes, but I'm pretty sure that the climate changing to the point where we can no longer grow crops, have clean water, or where temperatures are rising to where it's inhospitable to human life, that might be just a little bit more important than whether old Uncle Sam has enough money to be able to afford bombs to drop on people of a different skin color or belief system. Just saying. Anyway, continuing on this same alleged train of thought, Jeff Bezos is worth $130 billion. A normal young person, under 35, is worth $11,100. Jeff Bezos is donating $10 billion to fight climate change. That's like if a normal young person donated $847. Mathematically, yes, it is similar, but in the real world, where most of these people don't reside, it's not even close to the same. $10 billion can create instantaneous and sustainable change, while $847 might be enough to treat your office to a lunch at Pita Jungle where you can eat healthy and green, man. And then there's always pearls of wisdom like this. "While children are starving, hashtag Jeff Bezos bought a house from David Geffen for $165 million. I'm not sure how a real estate deal is related to childhood hunger, but I get it. Being rich is basically the same thing as being Genghis Khan in the eyes of some of these whiny assholes. I'm sure most of you understand where I'm coming from, but let me just put out my disclaimer for the dumb here. I'm not necessarily defending Jeff Bezos or Amazon. In fact, I think it's criminally outrageous that they took in $232 billion in 2018 and yet paid zero in taxes. And I'm also appalled by the manner in which they treat their employees, especially in their warehouses. They give them a sub-living wage and then have them working in Chinese sweatshop-style conditions. And that's definitely not hyperbole, especially when you consider that workers have literally died on the floor of Amazon's warehouse and fellow employees are ostensibly told to move on and get the fuck back to work. And while not quite as egregious, conditions regarding delivery drivers and other employees have also been brought to the forefront over the years. All of these and other criticisms are perfectly valid, but here's the thing. When an individual or company does the wrong thing, sure, call them out. But when they do the right thing, don't keep jumping down their throat for the shit they've done in the past. Instead, why not praise them, or at the very least, acknowledge the good thing? This would be like if your kid brings home a report card with straight A's this semester, and rather than acknowledge the accomplishment, you start yelling at them for getting an F in science class last semester, and then you remind them how much of a failure and disappointment they are as a child. It really does seem like a damned if you do, damned if you don't kind of situation. Maybe if I were Jeff Bezos and I saw how the internet has basically cast me as a villain for Captain Planet fanfic, I would just take my $10 billion off the table and say, you know what? You can buy a big old bucket of my shit and I'll use those proceeds to fund climate change. It'll cost you $847. Available exclusively on Amazon.